So we'll start with the Pali refuge vows. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami. Sangham Sharanam Gacchami. I take refuge in the Buddha. I take refuge in the Dharma. I take refuge in the Sangha. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami. Sangham Sharanam Gacchami. So we will start with our 15 minutes of seated meditation. We'll chant the Gatha on opening the sutras. This Dharma, incomparably profound and minutely subtle, is rarely encountered, even in hundreds of thousands of millions of ages. Now we see it, hear it, hold and maintain it. May we completely realize the true mind of all Buddhas. All right, relax. For tonight, the Dharma comes to us from our brother from Pennsylvania, Hangdal Chitta.
So we'll start this out officially. Thus have I heard. One time, my old buddy Sid decided he was going to raise money for the shrine he was trying to build by marketing Buddhist umbrellas. And he didn't have a lot to work with, so he really, he put some thought into it, what he had around that he could do this, and it made perfect sense to him. And so he found a big sheet of rice paper parchment and got his ink brush and his ink stick and stone and mixed up some ink. And he drew a Buddha in the middle of the parchment. And then he just wrote out some little bits of various sutras all around the Buddha on the parchment, just going out from him like rays. And he was all set. He thought, it's perfect. This is exactly what I need. This will do it. The Buddhist umbrella. It's a marvelous idea. And so he waited patiently for it to start raining. And eventually the rainstorm came up, and with great excitement, he leaped up and he grabbed this piece of parchment and he held it over his head, and he ran outside and stood under the parchment in the rain, taking shelter. And the rain soaked right through the parchment, and the ink ran, and it got all over him. And he had to go back to the drawing board. And Sid figured probably it was because he got the Buddha and the Dharma in there, but couldn't figure out how to incorporate the Sangha into his umbrella and fully take refuge. We've recently been talking a lot about the refuges, the triple gem, and recently incorporated them in how we do our service every Wednesday. And that's common to most sanghas in most schools of Buddhism. Probably some of the first experience I remember. It's just how you start out. It's how you say that you're a Buddhist in many communities, is you say the three refuges. That comes before precepts or anything else. You take refuge. So I've been thinking a lot about what that means, and it's an interesting concept, refuge, and what does that really mean? What does it mean to take refuge? That's part of the training in the Soto Gakkai, is to examine the refuges. Well, what does that mean? Are you taking refuge in the historical Buddha, or the proto-Buddha, or the Buddha to be, or yourself as Buddha? It may be the original koan. What exactly are you doing when you're taking refuge? What does that really mean, and how do you accomplish it? And so I've been thinking about the actual translations that we use. And translation's always funny. We deal with it all the time because most of our traditional texts are not in English. And English is this weird conglomeration of all kinds of words and languages that may not even mean anymore what they originally meant when we adopted them. So looking at refuge, it's actually an interesting word, and we all know what it means, and you ask any person on the street, it's kind of like freedom, well, what does it mean to be free? Well, free. Well, no, define it for me. Well, nobody can tell me what to do. I'm free. Refuge is kind of the same. Well, what does it mean? Well, refuge, shelter. Yeah. Well, like a refugee, you go to a shelter and they feed you and keep you out of the rain. Well, the root of the word in Latin, which we have translated into English and we have decided charanam means, is to flee back, to retreat. Or if you're a fan of Monty Python, run away, run away. And that might be applicable, you could take it many ways again if you're going back to your original face. Or if you're stepping back from the poisons that have trapped you in samsara. And of course, then you get into this other thing of, well, but Buddha said not to take refuge in anyone but yourself. That's where the 15-year-old mind goes, right? Well, it's wrong. I can't take refuge because he told me not to take refuge. So it all gets really convoluted, like everything we talk about. So I'm going to offer you an alternate translation for Sharanam. And as with anything, feel free to use it, discard it, discount it. That's your trip, not mine. But I'd like to give you another word commonly used in English, which also goes back to Latin, if that's how we're going to work with our translation. It is a word that is generally translated as a custom, condition, or demeanor, perhaps an appearance, a dress, a clothing, perhaps to reside, to dwell. It's the root of a great many words we use in English. Habit, which probably comes from origins to give or receive or to hold. And habit is the clothing the monk wears, the robe of the Buddha that we don. Habit is our custom, our practice, our demeanor, our action. It's the thing we give ourselves over to every day. Like me years ago with smoking. Every day, got to have that habit. It's where we reside, where we dwell, where we take shelter. It's the root of habitat. It's this root of all these concepts. So again, for whatever it's worth, take it or leave it, but I'll offer you this alternate translation of Sharanam, which is, I make the Buddha my habit. I make the Dharma my habit. I make my Sangha my habit.
Thank you, brother. So we'll get on with another 15 minutes of seated meditation. We'll chant the Heart Sutra. Mahaprajna Paramita Hridaya Sutra Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, when practicing deeply the Prajna Paramita, perceives that all five skandhas are empty and is safe from all suffering and distress. Shariputra, form does not differ from emptiness. Emptiness does not differ from form. That which is form is emptiness. That which is emptiness, form. The same is true of feeling, perceptions, impulses, consciousness. Shariputra, all dharmas are marked with emptiness. They do not appear or disappear, are not tainted or pure, do not increase or decrease. Therefore in emptiness, no form, no feelings, perceptions, impulses, consciousness, no eyes, no ears, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no color, no sound, no smell, no taste, no touch, no object of mind, no realm of eyes, and so forth, until no realm of mind consciousness, no ignorance, and also no extinction of it, and so forth, until no old age and death, and also no extinction of it, no suffering, no origination, no stopping, no path, no cognition, also no attainment, with nothing to attain. The Bodhisattva depends on Prajna Paramita, and the mind is no hindrance. Without any hindrance, no fears exist. Far apart from every perverted view, one dwells in nirvana. In the three worlds, all Buddhas depend on Prajna Paramita and attain Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. Therefore know that Prajna Paramita is the great transcendent mantra, is the great bright mantra, is the utmost mantra, is the supreme mantra, which is able to relieve all suffering and is true, not false. So proclaim the Prajna Paramita mantra. Proclaim the mantra which says Gate Gate Para Gate Parasamgate Bodhisvaha. Gate Gate Para Gate Parasamgate Bodhisvaha. Gate Gate Para Gate Parasamgate Bodhisvaha. We will do our personal dedications of merit. I've got a couple of people, and I will open it up to you on cue. All sentient beings are one seamless body and pass quickly from birth to death. We remember those who cared for us and are gone. those who are ill,
down
those who
those
are at war, who are hungry
hungry
and are in pain. May they
May they heal
heal
and
and
have
have
peace.
peace.
Yes.
We especially dedicate our service to Mike Gingy Wood,
Ronnie Koenig,
Joanne and Leona,
Joanne and Bailey Sheridan, as well as Iris McDonald.
One for my aunt and one for the people of Palestine. Thank you.
Anyone else? Lily. All beings in the 10 directions subject to the greed, hatred, and delusions of themselves and others. All Buddhas throughout space and time, all honored ones, Bodhisattva, Mahasattvas, wisdom beyond wisdom,
wisdom.
Maha Prajna Paramita. We'll recite our faith in practice vow. I will never retreat and will be firm in my mind in this correct Dharma. I will escape from the samsaric cycle of birth and death and definitely will see my original face. I will be sure to inherit the life of insight of the Buddha and save all sentient beings. Hangdal.
infinite realms of light and dark convey the Buddha mind. Birds and trees and stars and we ourselves come forth in perfect harmony. We practice and recite this for all beings, in grateful thanks to our many guides along the way.
We'll recite the 4 great Bodhisattva vows. Sentient beings are numberless. We vow to help them all. Delusions are countless. We vow to see through them all. Opportunities to awaken are infinite. We vow to embrace them all. The Buddha way is endless. We vow to embody it. Life and death are of supreme importance. Time passes swiftly by and opportunities to awaken are easily lost. Strive to realize your true nature. Do not squander your time by night or day. I'll extinguish the candles.
Prior, I do not care.